How much does Google Ads cost for air conditioning installers? In this video, I'm going to run through the real costs for you to get aircon customers. So we're going to look at what HVAC or aircon companies are really spending on Google Ads, the actual cost to get a full ducted system installation job or a split system installation job. Is Google Ads worth it for aircon installers? And we'll answer the question why Google Ads doesn't work for some air conditioning installers. My name's Adrian from Grow Savvy Marketing, and I help air conditioner installers and other service businesses get leads and turn them into paying customers using Google Ads. Let's start with what are the key factors that affect the cost when it comes to Google Ads for air conditioner installers. So if you've had a look at Google Ads before, then you'll know there's no flat fee. It's charged as a cost per click. So in Australia, here in Australia, the cost per click is $5 to $25 for air conditioner installers. And in the US, that's going to be a lot more. It's anything from $20 to $90 a click. And Google Ads varies depending on a few main factors. The biggest one being your location and where you're targeting. And this varies depending on if you're in a big city like Sydney or LA, or if you're in a small regional place. The biggest reason this varies is because of competition. So when you're in a bigger city, you're going to get a lot more competition. So you're going to get a lot of other installers that are all bidding on the same keywords, which in turn is going to push that price right up. Next thing that affects the cost of Google Ads for aircon installers is the type of keywords you choose. Now, if you're bidding on more general keywords versus higher value ones, that's going to affect the cost. So for example, air conditioning installer versus commercial air conditioning installation. The commercial keyword is probably going to cost more, and that's going to be again due to the fact that you're going to get a higher value job if you land that client. So other air conditioning installers are willing to pay more for that keyword. The next thing when it comes to keywords is the quality of the keyword. Something like just air conditioning is going to be a lot cheaper than air conditioning installer Sydney. And the reason for this is because air conditioning doesn't really convert very well, whereas air conditioning installer Sydney is going to convert a lot better. Next thing that's going to affect your costs is the performance of your ads and your landing page and just how well Google Ads is set up. But the main thing that you need to remember really is we're not looking at the cost per click as such. We're going to look at the results and how much it actually costs you to get a paying customer. Now let's look at how the budget in Google Ads works. In Google Ads, you set yourself a daily budget, and Google Ads will take that amount, they'll times it by 30, and they're going to average it out. So for example, if you set a budget of $100 a day, they're going to say, right, we've got $3,000 to spend for the month. Some days you'll only spend $80, for example, whereas other days you'll spend $120 a day or $140 a day. But overall, over the course of the month, it's going to average out to that $100 a day. Now that you know how the budget works and that Google Ads charges by cost per click or by click, what does that actually look like? Best thing is if we do a demonstration. We take our keyword here, air conditioning installers near me. We can see up here a bunch of ads. We'll have the word sponsored here, sponsored here, sponsored here. These are all Google Ads, and even this one in the map is a sponsored ad. So Google Ads doesn't actually charge you for having your ad show up here. What it does charge you for is as soon as someone clicks on your ad, then you're going to be paying that cost per click. How do we actually find out how much the cost per click is without actually running ads? The answer is pretty simple. We're going to use Google's keyword planner, which we can find in the Google Ads console. To get to the keyword planner, we log into our Google Ads account, then we go over to Tools, Planning, Keyword Planner. Discover new keywords, and to use the keyword planner, we're going to put some keywords in. You don't need too many of them, just a few to get started. Then we're going to change the location to the location that you're targeting. So this will be your city or the location where you want your ads to be showing. Then get results. And that'll bring up a bunch of keyword ideas. As you can see, you've got a whole lot of keywords on the left here. We've got the average monthly searches. So that's how many times people search for that actual keyword. And then what we're interested in here is the top of page bid low range and the top of page bid high range. So this is the actual cost. So for air conditioner installer, you could pay anywhere from $5 to $18 per click. Usually it's going to be somewhere in the middle or somewhere towards the higher end of that range. What you want to do for your business is you want to have a look at all the types of keywords that people are likely to type in when they're looking for you. So air conditioner installer, AC installation, AC installation near me. These are all going to be high intent sort of keywords that are likely to lead to business or to new jobs. Now that you know how to work out the cost per click for your campaign, for your company and the services that you offer, let's answer the question, is it worth it for air conditioning and HVAC installers? What really matters is the cost of a booked job. It doesn't really matter how much you're paying per click. We want to know how much is a booked job going to cost us and is that profitable? Let's take the example air conditioning installer. Let's take that keyword. So air conditioning installer is between $5 and $18 per click. So if we average that out and say it's going to cost about $12 a click, and if we say, for example, that it's going to take us 30 clicks to get one customer, that's kind of just an average. You might take more clicks or less clicks, and that really depends on your own sales process, whether you answer the phone or not, and how well your website converts or your company converts that sale into a customer or that inquiry into a customer. So if we take 30 clicks at $12 each, we get a total ad spend of $360 to get a customer. And your average air conditioning job, it could be for residential, it might be 1.5K, anything to 20K for a fully ducted system. And in my mind, $360 to get one customer, that's going to be well worth it. But you know your numbers as a business owner, so you need to answer that question yourself. Next example we'll look at is commercial air conditioning installer. So for that particular keyword, when I did my keyword research, I found that it was costing between $4 and $24 per click, which if we take an average, we'd be looking at about $18 a click. Given that it's a commercial job, it's probably going to take a bit longer to get over the line. There might be more competition. So if we say it takes 45 clicks to get that customer, turn that into a job, then you're looking at a total ad spend of $810. And again, commercial job, it might be anywhere from 5 or 7K. It could be 50K for a large system. So for an $810 investment, you potentially got yourself a 7 to 50K job. To me, that sounds like a pretty good deal. How much should air conditioning installers spend on Google Ads per month? And this is going to be based on the type of keywords you choose. On average, or as a rule, you want to take 10 times the average cost per click as your daily budget. So for example, if we've got the keyword air conditioning installer at $12 a click, AC installation near me at $14 a click, if we average them out, we get $13.50. And if we times $13.50 by 10, we get $135 per day. And that's going to be your daily budget, the minimum amount. One mistake that air conditioning installers and a lot of small businesses make when it comes to setting Google Ads budgets is they make the budget too small, or they say, I'm just going to try out Google Ads on $5 or $10 a day. Now, the problem with that is if you're spending $12 or $14 per click, you're not even going to get one click a day, or you're barely going to get a click a day when you've set a budget like that. And that's just going to set your account up for failure. What we really need is enough data to be able to optimize that. And so we need at least 10 clicks a day to be able to do that. You may have heard from some people in the industry that Google Ads doesn't work for air conditioning companies, or you may have tried Google Ads yourself and haven't seen the return on investment or haven't gotten jobs out of it. Now, I can say with confidence that Google Ads does work for air conditioning companies, and there are some common reasons what goes wrong when it comes to Google Ads. Reason number one is that you're using the wrong keywords and the traffic is not converting, or you're sending poor quality traffic to your website and getting them to fill out your contact form. For example, aircon system as a keyword versus aircon installer Sydney. Now there's a world of difference in these two different keywords. Aircon system could mean someone that's just looking to see how an air conditioning system works. They might be just browsing around the different systems and seeing what's out there. Aircon installer Sydney is very specific, very targeted, and will send you people that are actually looking for an air conditioning installer and to have air conditioning installed. So if you're choosing the right keywords, you're going to be sending the right traffic to your store, people that are, or to your website, people that are actually ready to buy. Mistake number 2 is setup errors in your campaign. And having errors in your campaign setup or an incorrectly set up campaign is going to lead to wasted budget. It's going to lead to, could be no inquiries, no leads, or it could be very high cost for your leads. And so a common mistake when it comes to this is sending traffic to your homepage. You need to be sending traffic to a specific landing page. Homepage isn't designed for converting traffic, for turning lookers into buyers or getting people to contact you. Next mistake is incorrectly setting up your geographic targeting or not having any targeting. Without targeting, you could be sending traffic worldwide or even to the whole of the country when in fact you only service a small town. So you want to be setting up your targeting so that you are only showing your ads to people within the location that you actually service. Mistake number 3 is a weak sales process. A lot of people set up Google Ads and think that's the answer to all their problems, whereas really it's just part of the equation. Setting up Google Ads is going to send you the traffic. After that, it's your job to actually answer the phone, to turn them into a paying customer. And one of the biggest mistakes when it comes to that is being slow to respond or not answering the phone for 3 hours or not calling people back for 2 days. You really need to be calling people back within the first couple of minutes. And you definitely need to be picking up the phone. If you can do these things, then you're a lot more likely to get the job. And this doubly applies for people that run emergency services like emergency electricians, emergency plumbers. If you're not going to answer the phone or you take 3 hours to get back to someone, the fact is they've probably found someone else by that time. If it's an emergency, if their toilet's overflowing, the power's gone out, they're not going to wait around until you call them back. Next mistake is in your sales process is not having any follow-up. After giving a quote, you need to call people back. You need to follow them up. You need to send them emails, send them testimonials, show them examples of work that you've done in the past. All of those things are going to increase the likelihood of you actually getting the job. Thank you for watching, guys, and if you can do these things, especially the last part around your sales process, it's really going to boost your business and boost the amount of paying customers that you get. And please do subscribe and like and subscribe to the channel. And if you're considering Google Ads or you've set up Google Ads and it's not quite working for you, then I suggest that you download my 150-page guide to Google Ads for service business owners. It goes through exactly how to set up your campaign optimally to generate high quality leads that turn into paying customers. And if you'd like expert help from me, you can book a call. I can fix broken campaigns and get them converting and profitable, or set up new campaigns to generate you paying customers. The links are in the description below. Cheers.